Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, we're going to be installing this door with sidelights behind me into this opening to the right of me. It also has a transom above it as well, so I'll show you how to install that too. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about building your own house, saving a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe, ring that bell so you get a notification every time I release a new video, and smash that like button. That's all I ask in return for making this video. Let's get started. So before we install the door in this opening, or even before we dry fit it, always take a level and check the threshold, which is the bottom where the door is going to set, and make sure it's level. This is really level, so we don't have to shim up one side or anything like that, but if you're not level, be sure to shim up whatever side needs raised up and then put liquid nails to hold that down into place. Also check the sides of the opening. Make sure they're level as well, or plumb I should say. And this opening is very plumb, looks good. So we don't have to adjust anything before we set the door in the opening. And it's really important to do if you have side lights, because it's harder to adjust this door than it is if it did not have side lights. So now that our opening's good, I'm going to show you a little treatment for the threshold if you don't have a covering above. This opening is under a porch, so I'm not going to worry about installing this flashing tape, but I'm going to show you what you need to do in case yours is not. So what you need to do is get this stuff called flashing tape, and it's a rubberized tape. And what you do is you put it up the side about 3 or 4 inches and tape it across the bottom here like this, and then run it up the side of the opening on the other side about 3 or 4 inches as well. And then you might need to take a couple layers depending on how wide your tape is. What that does, in case water gets under the door, it doesn't come in contact with the wood and rot out the threshold. I used to install doors, and a lot of them I took out did have rotted thresholds that did not have this tape, so be sure to do that. All right, let's go ahead and unpackage this door and get ready to set it. I got the door unpackaged. This is gonna require 2 people when you have a door with side lights, because it's too heavy and awkward to do by yourself. So this is one of those times you need to find help. So I got my dad with me. His name's Gerald. He's excellent help. So what I'm going to do is we set it right into the opening, and we have it in here dry, no glue, nothing underneath threshold yet, because we want to make sure it fits well. So next thing you need to do, you need to get what's called liquid nails, and we're going to have him lean the door back. I'm going to squirt a couple nice thick beads underneath of it, because that helps keep the weather out and keeps the threshold strong and tight against the subfloor. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, Gerald, go ahead and shut that door, lean it forward. Yep, and shut the door. And now, whenever you're ready, go ahead and lean it back. Yeah, you're going to have to, there you go. Now lean her back. Okay, keep leaning it. Yep, a little more, keep going. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, he's going to go ahead and lean the door up into the opening about where it's going to be setting. And you got it there, Gerald? All right, and since this door doesn't have brick mold on it, we're going to have to take a straight edge. I'm going to use a speed square to make sure it's flush against the outside of this house. Okay, so what you need to do, make sure your door is center of your opening. I got about a 1/4 inch gap on each side of the door, this side and the other side. And what you need to do, hold this straight edge tight against the side of the house, and it looks like we need to go in a 1/4 inch. So we're going to slide that in some. Yeah, you're good, Gerald. Just hold it there. All right, kick that bottom corner out a little bit. A little more. All right, right there. Don't move, don't move. All right, we're flush there. Now we need to tack a nail. And this is just temporarily going to hold it. It's nothing fancy and going to be super strong, but it's just temporary. Now we go to the other side and tack a nail too. All right, I'm going to put my straight edge up. So it needs to go in a little bit. All right, that looks pretty good there. Switch hands. All right, and now we need to do the same thing to the top corners. Before we tack a nail up in this top to get it flush with the house, we need to make sure we're plumb. So it needs to go that way. So you're going to need a pack of shims for this job. And we're going to go ahead and slide it in between the door here and the opening. Okay, let's see if that's plumb. And that's setting pretty good. So now we're going to open the door to make sure it functions well before we put a nail there to hold it. All right, Gerald, go ahead and see if that door functions. Does it act like it needs shimmed over anymore, or reveal look pretty good inside? Awesome. All right, reveal looks good inside, and we're sitting plumb here, so we're just gonna get flush. Go a little more. How's that reveal look? All right, so we're gonna put a nail for now right here. And I like to shoot it through the shims, that way it holds the shims in as well. All right, so now we do the other side. All right, let's see, straight edge against the house. That looks good. And again, when there's brick mold, you don't have to worry about using a straight edge. You just put the brick mold tight against the house, then tack it into place. So now we're temporarily set. We're gonna make sure the door functions really good. And then if it does, we're gonna put screws in the sides of the jambs to hold it into place. I'll show you how to do that. So now we gotta install screws in the corners of the door to hold it into place. So to do that, you're going to need a drill with a 1/8 inch bit on it. And you're gonna need a driver for whatever size screws you're gonna be using. I'm gonna be using these decking screws right here. Whoops, I pulled a nail out too. Just these regular 3.5 inch decking screws. These are strong. And the ones they sent were only 3 inch. I figured this was a little better. Okay, so just come down, double check, make sure we're flush still. Looks good. We're going to go ahead and pre-drill a hole here so we don't split the jamb. Really important. Okay. Then we're going to just make the hole a little bigger to accommodate for the screw head, a countersink, using a bit. All right, so now we're going to drive that in. Be careful it doesn't slide off the screw and scratch your door. All right, just put it in snug. Don't drive it real tight because it'll pull that thing out of center. So go to the other side and do the same thing. So this transom comes separate from the door. So this is another procedure you're going to need 2 people to do. So I got Gerald on that side, which is my dad. We're going to set it right into that opening. It's a little snug where I measured, so, but it slid in with ease. Sometimes you get lucky like that, sometimes you don't. All right, so hold that there so it doesn't fall and smash to pieces. Now what you got to do is go on the inside and make sure you're center with the door, that it's sitting perfectly center. It's centered inside really well, so now we're going to go ahead and tack some nails through the brick mold that came on it into place. And if you don't have a gun like this, just use standard galvanized finish nails and just pre-drill the hole and nail it from the outside in. To secure this transom even more, I'm going to pop little finish nails along the inside of the jamb to hold it into place. We can't do this from the outside because we have the brick mold and the jamb on the door is on the outside to screw to. Now it's the opposite with the transom. Any extra security is better. Now it's time to use this oscillating tool to cut these shims off flush with the door. And what I ended up doing is putting a screw in the center too. So I got one up here, one at the bottom, and one in the center. So I got 6 screws all around holding this door. And now to cut these shims, just take your oscillating tool and go flush to hit the house and run it up the side of the shim. All right. Since this door didn't come with brick mold on it, I have to put my own brick mold on. And this is going to be easy to do because they're straight cuts, because this transom is just straight across right here and there's brick mold coming down butting into the bottom of the transom square. So we just got to continue that look. So to do that, we're just going to slide this up to where it goes, Make sure we're flush with the end of the transom. That looks good. And then just come down to the bottom. Make sure we're tight there. And then follow that same reveal all the way down the door. All right, come to the other side, do the same thing. And this is PVC brick mold, and if you're wondering, this is a masonite door. I actually ordered it from Lowe's, and I am not an affiliate with Lowe's, so just want to make that clear. A lot of people talk about the house wrap saying Lowe's, but I have no connection with Lowe's. All right. Make sure that reveal is lined up perfectly. And how I like to nail my brick mold is nail it about every 16 inches and then every 16 inches into the actual door itself as well. All right, that is the final outside. Other than when I say final, it still needs paint and caulk. And what you need to do is come over to these screw holes where I put those screws in and put caulk over these right here, and down at the bottom. And then you can caulk around this seam and anywhere you have a crease that needs caulked. Be sure to do it before you paint it. And this is just primed wood here. Then I got PVC on right here, so I don't have to worry about that rotting. And this is made out of PVC all around, so that's pretty nice. So good fresh coat of paint on the jamb, and we should be good to go on the outside. Let me show you the inside. So as you can see here on the inside, it's sticking out about 1/2 inch to allow for drywall. And then after that's drywalled around, then we'll have to put these mullion strips and trim out around the edge. So you'll trim out around the edge first, and then you'll install the mullion strips. So it'll just cover up this gap between the transom and the top of the door. And paint this as well, and that is all there is to the inside of the door. All right, guys, that's all there is to installing a door with side lights and a transom. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Again, my name's Josh. Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.